Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Marston, the ZimTech guy. So in this video, I'm going to show you some tips on how to speed up your workflow in Adobe Premiere Pro CC if you're starting out. But before we do that, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you do eventually end up liking the video, please hit the thumbs up button. Right, so let's see if we can create a timeline to start off. Now this is a perfect time as well. There are many ways of creating a timeline, but most times you just drag your footage, bring it here, and voila, you have a timeline. Let's say for some reason you just want a specific, let me just delete this. You want to deal with a specific maybe frame rate or certain sequence settings. You can just come and create maybe a black video. So you can specify this time base is 23.976 frames per second. Maybe you want 30 frames. Just come, click here, press OK, drag it there, and voila, you've created your timeline. Let's see if we can just import footage, drag footage there. It's going to ask you, this clip does not match the sequence settings. Change the sequence settings to make the clip settings. We want to keep existing. So let's say you're dealing with footage that has different frame rates or different settings. This is a good way of making all the footage conform. You see the way I just drag the footage here? This is how you do it as an amateur. You just click footage from your project window here and drag it to the timeline. But there's actually an easier way of doing it without us doing that. Let's just delete this footage. Let's come maybe here to the footage of this lady here. Double click on it. And let's say I want footage maybe from here. I can press I on the keyboard. That's the in point. And then maybe I want it up to here. I can press O. That's the out point, right? So this is the portion that I want. Now for me to add it to the timeline, all I need to do is press the period on the keyboard or full stop. Let me just click it and it's there. As you can see, it actually, where the playhead is, let me click again just to show you. Where the playhead is where the footage will be pasted, right? So that's that. Now I think it's actually a good time to teach you. Let me just delete this once again. It's a good time to teach you how we can target tracks. For instance, let's say I want to paste in the video 3 track here, and maybe I want to post in the audio 2 track. If I let me just put my playhead here at the beginning, and when I press, since I've changed this, as you can see, it was on V2, now it's on V3, and this one was on A3, it's on A4. If I press period or full stop, those particular tracks is where the footage will be pasted. Now this might seem like no, it's a no-brainer, but now when you're dealing with a lot of tracks, it can actually be problematic. And let's say you're dealing with many tracks, and for some reason you just want certain tracks not to be disturbed, you can come here and press this lock button. As you can see, the whole track is grayed out. Let me see if I can lock this one again. So now that these tracks have been locked, what it means is basically I will not be able to touch anything or move anything. Even if I'm to paste something, it will not be affected with this track. So if there's something that you want not to be touched, this is a perfect way of just preserving your track. All right, so the next tip, let's just unlock this. The next tip, maybe, let me see if I can drag. No, this footage is too big. Let me just double click this. Maybe we want this footage as well. In point, maybe up to here. Out point, and then I want it to be here. Period. All right. So we have these two tracks. We have these two clips here. Now, what an amateur would do, especially if you want to get rid of this space, you just click drag until it snaps to the other footage. There's actually a simpler way of doing it. Just go to the empty space right here, right click on it, press repo delete, and everything comes together without wasting time. Now the other tip involves us using the pen tool. Let's just click on the pen tool. Now the first thing you can do with the pen tool obviously is that you can draw with it. Just come maybe on the video layer here, just come click, click, click. You can actually draw shapes with it. Let me just lock it. And if you go to the essential graphics panel here, you see we are able even to change the color of the shapes as well. So it creates this object here on the timeline. That's just one way of dealing with the pen tool, but that's not all. Let me just highlight, press V, just highlight that and delete it. What if I tell you that you can also use the pen tool on the video layer? Let me just, so since I've highlighted, let's say for some reason I want the end of this video to just dim. Now you can also use maybe cross dissolve or deep to black to do this. But if I come here, as you can see, let me see. If I come here on the video layer here, you can see this line here. Now we can come to any point. Just let's say, for example, we can come here and add a keyframe, there, and we can also add another keyframe there. And I want to drag this. Let me just drag it down so that you can see the effect. If I click on it and I press, as you can see, it dimmed there. Even at the end here, you can come, it dims, it fades to black. So basically it's affecting the opacity. So if I increase it, that means it will come to 100% opacity. If I drag this down, it will come to 0% opacity. You see where I'm coming with it. So what you can do on the video layer, you can also do on the audio layer. Now this particular footage doesn't have audio, but theoretically you see what I'm talking about. So this here is like the level of the volume. So normally you can just drag it up or drag it down, right? Drag it up to increase the volume, drag it down to reduce the volume. But let's say you probably have another track, maybe a track that has audio, and maybe this would be like the music track, and maybe when you're speaking you want the volume of the audio on the music layer to be reduced. So let's just click on P. How you can do it is that you can come again on this line here, click on it to add keyframes, click on it here, click on it again, drag it down. You drag it down so that you reduce the volume. You can also drag it up so that you increase the volume. So that's another way you can use the pen tool. Yeah, so I hope these tips have been useful. I hope you also learned something from it. If you have any questions regarding this or maybe a subject that you want me to cover, please leave it down in the comment section below. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, guys, see you in the next video.